What is the truth, anyway? I mean, the truth about global net and the news.
The truth is that a conspiracy of aliens controls our lives, man. And we gotta fight it.
That really sounds pretty much like a conspiracy theory.
A Moment of Silence is a point-and-click adventure game. It is made by the team that created Overclocked, which is why I picked it up. The year is 2044, and like all dystopian futures, individual countries have merged together into a big union. You play as Phoenix Wright. I'm sorry, Peter Wright, who works in advertisement. He has a pretty kick-ass job that can't be stolen by robots. His co-workers are cool and fit, and he spends his days drinking coffee and coming up with slogans. His only issue in life is that a terrorist attack blew up a plane with his wife and son, so he's kind of down, and then he witnesses his neighbor getting dragged away by the police. And this is where our story starts.
I just went over there.
And?
Ms. Oswald is totally distraught, and the kid is crying his eyes out. He's just plain miserable.
How terrible. But there is surely a good reason for it, Peter. Of course it is hard for these families. It always is.
Yeah, of course. They always have a good reason. There's always a good reason for everything.
You're being sarcastic, Peter. But life must go on. Yours and the Oswalds.
I have to go now. This incident with the neighbors, it really gets to me.
Just like in Overclocked, there is a lot to like in this story. Characters feels like actual persons, and the setting feels fairly believable. Of course there are some silly characters and some things in the setting which are kind of out there, but it is reasonably believable, and it seems like a place where normal people live. Without going into too much spoilers, the main theme of the game is privacy, mass surveillance, large-scale social manipulation, and there is definitely a 1984 vibe to it. But it doesn't go overboard, and it keeps it unique enough by focusing on a push for digitalization. So in this setting, children are only taught to write by computers. Books are supposed to be handed over to the state so that they can be converted to a digital format so that everyone can have access to them.
Isn't it illegal to sell these printed books?
Maybe.
These books are not scanned, right?
I'm of the opinion that non-scanned books are just as interesting as scanned ones, if not even more interesting.
But this way, these books are not really available to everybody. That way you make information, once again, private property. It becomes luxury for privileged people only. The law about the electronic gathering of printed material is supposed to
democratize the written word. Is that what you mean?
But of course, that's how it actually is. Actually, you would have to turn these books into the Department of Communications so they can get scanned. Afterwards, you will actually get them back.
It is a fun twist. Add to that themes like conspiracy theories, mass unemployment due to robots entering the workplace, impact of advertisement on elections, and much more, and it was a mix that I enjoyed.
Well, it's just that you can't market a plebiscite about an important political issue like, let's say, a chocolate bar.
That's what you say. I say politics must be marketed like a chocolate bar.
With that being said, the story has plenty of flaws. Some elements doesn't make any sense, and some things are silly and nonsensical. The characters are alright, but with the possible exception of Peter, they don't really stand out. The story would also probably have been better if some sections were cut out, especially so considering that the game had major pacing problems. There is a lot of running back and forth in this game, and it is made a whole lot worse by both the camera and the movement being completely awful. The camera jumps around all the time, and it can be hard to get the camera to change angles correctly. Add to that bad pathfinding, and it all results in a big mess. Sadly, this is indicative about the gameplay in general. First of all, the game suffers from constantly forcing you to trigger stuff to progress the story. Overclocked had the same issue, and what I mean by this is that you will need to do something to get something else completely unrelated to happen in the story so that the story can move ahead. So for instance, one trigger could be to check your email, and if you forget to do this, then you will run around like a headless chicken and nothing will happen. Add to that Puzzles from Hell, and it is a game which I would not play without having a walkthrough close at hand. I can't stress enough how wacky some of these puzzles are. It is just absurd. As a point-and-click game, Peter, as the main character, is also fairly silent, and for a lot of objects he will offer no insight or comment at all, which is kind of disappointing. In terms of presentation, it has decent music, but with very mixed voice acting. Visually, I think it looks fine, but it certainly looks its age, and some things do look a bit silly. Something that still holds up, however, are the cutscenes, which still looks nice. In summary, Moment of Silence is a game that I don't regret playing, but it is also not a game that I would recommend unless you are in love with the genre of the themes of the game. The pacing is just too slow, the puzzles are a bit too shit, and the crappy camera and crappy movement is actually inexcusable. Some people will see past this and enjoy the story, but it is not for everyone.
Hey, Big Mike! Take a look at what's walking down the street, man! Some kind of maldito yuppie from downtown! Hey, you! You better get your ass back to your mama in the Upper East Side fast! Hey, pendejo! You're still here! Hey! I'm talking to you! You there for something, pendejo?